Black men and boys for years now have been discriminated and seen as an inferior group. The United States discriminated black men such that they were not allowed to vote during elections. Over the years, the black men started advocating for themselves, which they would fight for equality. The rise of leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X gave men of color a voice. On television, black men were not given a chance to showcase their talent. If white people wanted to have a black character on set, they did it themselves by what they called blackface. In the 1970s, black people started coming out in the film industry. Some of the best black sitcoms include The Bernie Mac Show, The Bill Cosby Show, and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Videos will be used to showcase how black men are portrayed on film. The characteristics associated with the black men on film are considered the realities of life. What most people forget is that these men are vulnerable and have lives that actually matter. In the comedy show, One on One, black men as fathers are shown to be loving and protective of their children. Brianna's father, Flex, in the show strives to protect and provide for his daughter. The show also saw black fathers as single parents. In reality, the American culture associates black men as teenage fathers who raise their children alone. As lovers, black men are portrayed on film as aggressive, violent, oversexed, and irresponsible. In the One on One show, Flex is scolded for kissing an Asian girl.
Well, you kiss better than you sing.
I do everything better than I sing.
Sue! What are you doing?
Yoon, we were just...
I'm not talking to you! Sue, what are you doing? This is Ramon all over again!
But Flex and
I do not approve of this. You know I don't want you with someone like him. He's bad for...
The Asian father says that he does not want his daughter dating a man like him. Flex is a good man. The film is trying to depict all black men as dangerous and unable to hold a relationship together. The fact that Brianna's father is single and raising her alone does nothing to improve the image of black men on film and in reality. In addition to this, Bill Cosby from The Bill Cosby Show, mentioned earlier, was recently accused of rape, sexual assault by various women during his career. Bill Cosby is in fact black, a black man who makes the case interesting for this assignment. Could it be that black men being seen as aggressive lovers influenced the Bill Cosby case? If a white man was involved in the same situation, would the court's verdict be the same? The court made the decision to sentence Cosby in prison. However, the portrayal of black men as aggressive, violent, and oversexed is considered a reality when the Bill Cosby case is deliberated. As I already mentioned, the film industry depicts black men in a certain way which makes the society think that this is reality. The films also shown black men to possess characteristics that range from thugs to irresponsible, oversexed, violent, and hustlers. One of the characters on the One on One show is called Nightmare and referred to as a thug. Black men are often called thugs because of the way they walk, talk, act, and even dress. They are good people. The media is trying to portray black men and boys as irresponsible individuals who cannot take care of their image, which is a stereotype thing to do. The image created of the black men is also uncivilized. In the next video, Kenan and Kel show, the two male characters served a customer and acted in an uncivilized manner by taking the whole situation as a joke.
Excuse me. Next thing you know, folks gonna be walking their dogs up in here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. However, can I help you? Well, I'm looking for a magazine called Monster Truck World. I was wondering if y'all had it. Oh, no, I'm sorry, baby. We ain't got that many. Okay, wait. See, Lanisha don't even know what she be talking about. I think we do have a little manly Monster Truck magazine you talking about. No. Is this the magazine you talking about? No, see, this magazine just have a lot of women wearing wedding dresses. Well, how about that? Let's look at it together. Oh, wouldn't I look cute in that wedding dress right there? No, I don't think so. You're funny. You could be a chameleon. Oh, I'm so sorry. Did I do that? How clumsy of me. No, wait. Man, we went nowhere. I'm looking for a magazine called Monster Truck World. Oh, you know what? I think I see it right back there behind all those other magazines here, way back in the back. Look real hard, Did you find what you looking for? No, I can't see. It's too dark in here, man. What you doing? What was you doing? Oh, man, this music made me feel like dancing. I don't know about you. Don't bite me. Mind if I cut in?
The way that black men are imaged on film is impacting their personal and public lives. Men typically have a certain position in a family, a dominant position. Black men are stripped of that dominant title because of the minority status in America. The problems of racism and stereotyping makes them insecure about their male identity, which affects the public and private spheres of life. When black men feel inferior to white people who have created a notion that they are superior to any other race. The stereotypical characteristics associated with black people are also impacting them in the way that they feel as if they are second class in their own country.
The black man was not viewed as a man in American society due to collective emasculation until the Black Power movement in the late 1960s and 70s. He then simultaneously defined himself and defied some of the previous stereotypes once prescribed to him by society. During the Black Power movement, the black man no longer asked for permission, and he didn't give no fucks about forgiveness. He was now self-determined, self-defined, and self-assured. To name a few, Muhammad Ali, Kwame Ture, Malcolm X, and Eldridge Cleaver, they were all exemplary models of the new black man, assertive, articulate, and physically gifted. The black man was now a symbol of virility and masculinity, defining his own manhood in a society that once denied him his humanity. The 90s was a resurgence of black power. The era provided a space where African Americans had more autonomy in the media and were able to project a more positive image. There was hip-hop, gangster rap, and television programming that portrayed African American men in ways that were empowering to the black community and at times horrific to white America. A Different World was a revolutionary television series during its time. It was set at a HBCU and featured an all-black cast. It was the first college depiction of a black man pursuing professional careers from all different backgrounds. It provided a perspective in the media that African Americans can achieve their respective dreams and goals despite their previous milieu. For young black men specifically, it demonstrated the potential to strive and be greater than what society has prescribed them to be.
Right? Is there anything you need? Glendon is an attorney if you need
Ladies, bid adieu.
Hey, man, do not abuse their rights. The days of Kent State are gone.
And so are you. Let's go. Whitley.
Yes.
Thank you. Come on, miss. Let's go. Thank you.
Now that is a black girl worth doing.
Hold on, hang on. You better go, man. Come on, man. Take it easy. Look easy. Look easy. I'm tired. Come on, man.
I should have sprayed that in your face, man.
Whoa, a confession!
Hold on, hold on.
Yeah, now we're getting somewhere.
It ain't worth.
Why'd you do it, son?
He was in my face.
Oh, now there's a reason.
No, it's because of how they are.
How are they?
You know.
No, I don't. Tell me.
They have no respect. They don't care about this country at all. All they do is sit on their butt and complain.
And what do they have to complain about? It's because of them and their quotas that I'm not in the Ivy League, where I belong.
Look, you all had quotas for centuries. You called them legacies, restricted country clubs, the law.
Oh, hey, my grandfather came to this country with nothing. He couldn't even speak the language. But he worked hard, and he made a place for himself and his family. Now, why can't you people do the same?
Hey, my grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigger.
Riveting history lesson, Professor.
All right, just let him go.
They say he's right.
What did you say?
I said he's right. I'm not at A&M because quotas kept me out of another school. I'm here because I always wanted to go here. You know, when I was growing up, I used to play all the time with black kids. I never thought anything about it. Then one day, I must have been about 9, I was fishing with my dad and uncle. My dad told my uncle this joke. He said, "What do you call a Negro physician from Virginia?" "A nigger."
You know?
I'd heard that word before, but never from my father. So he probably wouldn't have minded what we did today. But I'm ashamed. I'm sorry.
Hey, man, I don't want your apology. I want their arms broken. I want them punished, man. And I want my car fixed now.
You don't see your part in all this, do you?
I'm the victim.
More brothers on the team?
Well, that's just the truth.
Oh, so you're comfortable with the stereotype that all black people can do is run?
Hey, look, we don't expect a fair shake from you, officer.
That's right, I'm a white man.
That's right.
I could be a card-carrying member of the Klan.
Never know.
Or I could have marched with Dr. King. You don't know. Maybe you should look at me as an individual and not as a color.
The Cosby Show was a television program that starred an affluent black family in the 90s. The mother was a lawyer and the father was a doctor. The family was all black, lived in a middle-class neighborhood, and were the paragon of black achievement in an era where that was unheard of. The Huxtables were culturally black and exuded a positive image that all could aspire to be. In this particular episode, Dr. Huxtable demonstrates the new image of the black man, not defined by the myopic constraints of European patriarchy, but based on the tenets of self-determination, accountability, family, pride, spirituality, and humanism.
Cal, do you want a job?
Yeah, but I want one that pays well.
I understand that, but son, life doesn't work that way. I mean, you just don't stand on the corner hoping for people to come by and say, "Is there anybody here with 2 kids and 2 girlfriends wants $55,000 a week?" Now, what can you do?
I don't know what I can do. I don't know how to do anything. I had a job at the supermarket. It paid minimum wage, and they treated me like I was at the bottom of the pile, and that's where I was going to stay. I don't want to be a statistic.
Okay, you don't know how to do anything. And I'm telling you that what you've got to do now is you've got to learn how to want to be something.
How?
You pick.
Pick? That's all I have to do is pick?
Pick. That's all. I mean, the second thing you do after you pick is figure out if that's really what you want to do, what you want to be. And then the next thing you do is go out and find out how to become that.
No, that's easy for you to say. Dr. Huxtable, you're a doctor.
I hate to tell you this, man, but I'm not the issue. I have a job. Don't throw it this way. It belongs in your court, son. I'm trying to help you to think. Now pick. What would you like to be?
I want to be
A lab technician.
Great. And you just happen to know a person who's in medicine.
You gonna give me a job?
No, I'm not gonna give you a job. What kind of business do you think I'm running? No, but I'm going to help you get started en route to becoming one.
Negative depictions of Black Americans in television shows have been a constant trend throughout the decades. As a result, African Americans are typically portrayed in negative roles with stereotypes attached to their personalities that society sees as abnormal. Television shows take the stereotypes and negative aspects in African American lives and turn them into something that seems cool or entertaining by the audience. An example of this is shown in a scene taken from the show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. In this scene, Will is preparing to go on a trip with his father, who had just returned into his life after 14 years. Just as Will finally becomes ready to leave on the trip, his father cancels the trip and hints at him that he will no longer be a part of his life for the second time.
Will, man, I'm glad you're here. Some business came up I gotta handle. So we're gonna have to put our trip on hold. You understand?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Just for a couple of weeks.
I understand.
Yeah. Maybe a little longer.
Yeah, whatever.
Look, I'll call you next week and we'll iron out the details. Okay?
Yeah.
It was great seeing you, son.
You too, Lou.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Will.
You know what? Actually, this works out better for me. You know, the Slimmies of summer come to class wearing next to nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Will, it's all right to be angry.
Hey, why should I be mad? I'm saying, at least he said goodbye this time. I just wish I hadn't wasted my money buying this stupid present.
I'm sorry. If there was something that I
Hey,
could
you know what? You ain't got to do nothing, Uncle Phil. Hey, ain't like I'm still 5 years old, you know? Ain't like I'm gonna be sitting up every night asking my mom, when's Daddy coming home, you know? Who needs him? Hey, he wasn't there to teach me how to shoot my first basket, but I learned, didn't I? Hey, I got pretty damn good at it too, didn't I, Uncle Phil?
You did.
Got through my first date without him, right? I learned how to drive, I learned how to shave, I learned how to fight without him. I had 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card. To hell with him!
This scene forces the stereotypes that black boys grow up without their father in their lives and that black men are not a part of their children's lives. These common depictions in the media can lead to society seeing these stereotypes as a social norm for all African American families. Television shows create a picture that makes African American fathers seem abnormal and makes it seem like the absence of a father in black boys' life and a broken family is not a bad thing. These perceptions of the absent father figure can bring unwanted support to the argument that black boys can be raised into men without a father figure in their lives.
Blackish is an American sitcom about an African American man who has a family that does not really embrace their African American culture. However, in this episode, Dre's youngest son explicitly uses the N-word while singing Gold Digger by Kanye West at a school talent show. He is amazed, but his wife isn't, and she forbids the whole family from ever using the word. Dre brings up the issue at work with his fellow colleagues, and the conversation goes as is.
Okay, so you're telling me, not only do your moms and pops not want you to say it, but your girl don't want you to say it either?
Yes. Can you believe that?
Wow. They want you to live in the free zone.
I'm telling you, man. My house is not a home.
Not if you can't say it's not.
That's what I'm saying.
They keep taking.
I think. No, trust. I got this. Trust me. Trust. So, as a African American, Josh, yes, you do not have to say African American. Just say black. Oh, good.
Oh, well, in that case, you know what word I miss? Colored. I just...
Okay, Mr. Stevens, that word is offensive and reminiscent of a not-so-great time in American history. So let's all just take it down a notch. Maybe reholster our firearms. Charles?
In that case, maybe someone should tell that to the NAACP.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that group been sending mixed messages for a long time.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm throwing it out there.
Sometimes
That's all I meant by that.
Hey guys, I'm so confused. Josh, all you need to know is that it's not okay for you to say the N-word.
There you go.
Sure. Negro's still there, right? Cock it.
Okay. Well, in that case, maybe I should put a stop payment on the $500,000 check that I just wrote to the United Negro College Fund.
Come on, Mr. Stevens. Be honest. You only wrote that check so you can say Negro.
Well, I definitely don't do it so I can't say it.
This clip implies that black men are hypervigilant. They respond heavily to criticism and are willing to act out in violent ways. As shown, the men pull out their guns and point it at the white man, and they're ready to get down with them. In the workspace, the black men are marginalized by their white counterparts because of how different they appear, and are sometimes being frightful. It goes back to the one reading about Beyond Love, where all the school children are talked about, and they're looked at funny. The message subliminally adds that black people should have the option to use the N-word, that they are free to use it whenever they want, for every occasion, on a daily basis, that it is part of their innate nature. However, we must remember that we are not products of racism, but descendants of Africa. The N-word is a product of racism, and we have adopted to it. We must remember that because we are descendants from Africa, every African American male we come across is our brother, our fellow king, and a god. They are the fathers of humanity, and they created culture of what was powerful beyond belief from what we are taught today. American Horror Story Coven is about a coven of witches in which each witch fights for the power of being supreme. In this clip, Fiona, the supreme witch of the coven, knows that she is dying because the new supreme is taking power. When the supreme takes power, she begins to die. So she contacts the voodoo deity, Papa Legba, to ask him what she should do. She even asked if he can take her soul. To summon him, she offers cocaine and performs a ritual.
Papa Legba, ferie parie pour moi. Papa Legba, ferie parie pour moi. Papa Legba, ferie parie pour moi. Agüe.
You broke out the good stuff.
Seal it.
A quick background of Papa Legba. Papa Legba is a deity of voodooism that opens the gates so that people can speak to spirits on the other side. He is also the god of destiny. When people offer to Legba, They offer cigars, coffee, tobacco products, rum, and other foods and oils. America's Horror Stories' Papa Legba is depicted as someone who loves cocaine. It helps to provide the image that black men love cocaine and other forms of drugs. Many media outlets today still give that idea that an African American man is addicted to drugs. It is important to know that not all black men should be depicted by this, but that they should be depicted in a more positive way. It would be better if they depicted him as being offered food. Papa Legba's image is also depicted as a mandingo. He comes onto Fiona and kisses her to determine if her soul is worthy of being saved. Fiona is intimidated, but at the same time she is intrigued, and she kisses him as well and even cries. The image of the mandingo was a product of racism, and it should not be used today. There are still various images of a black man being sexually aroused and having such strong appetite. Although Papa Legba is a deity that associates himself with the underworld, the real image of him is rather that of an old southern black man. This image is rather menacing and provides the idea that black men are menacing. Like Blackish, they are seen as violent, they are seen as cruel, and they are seen as evil.
Attributes associated with black men are still the same ones being seen in real life, where innocent black lives are being taken just because black men are said to be thugs or are immoral. In America, racism is not a new phenomenon. On film, black men only started getting roles in the 1970s. Today, there are ways that television shows depict a black man. Black men are shown to be immoral, thugs, irresponsible, and uncivilized. The characters are, of course, stereotypical. Unless the world decides to stop, starting with the media, black men will always be seen as second-class, low-class citizens in their own country.